Some 200 rebel fighters, along with their families, left the town of Douma on Sunday in a first step of a deal that would ultimately end any rebel presence in Eastern Ghouta. The Damascus suburb has been under the control of rebels since 2012, and since then rebels used it to launch several attacks on the capital Damascus, in addition to fending off repeated offensives by government forces trying to retake it. But the situation has changed now. The Syrian army reports it controls all of Eastern Ghouta except the town of Douma. All day on Sunday, Syrian state TV showed footage of Syrian soldiers being deployed and entering districts like Jobar and Zamalka. Both have been considered rebel strongholds for the past 6 years. But the scene in Damascus, meanwhile, was a little bit different. We have seen for the first time in years the largest Easter masses and parades. Many people were reluctant in the past few years to take part in any large gatherings because of repeated rebel mortar attacks on the capital Damascus. But since government forces have managed to clear all the eastern outskirts of the capital from any rebel presence, more people were inclined to take part in the masses and parades that took place on Easter. Meanwhile, despite all of this, it is still unclear the terms of the deal that will end rebel control over the town of Douma. A senior source in the Syrian army tells CGTN that the deal would grant a safe passage to rebels wanting to leave towards the town of Jarablus, north of Syria, along the borders with Turkey. We are also told that rebels wanting to stay will receive a special pardon from the government if they surrender their weapons and release hostages and prisoners they have been holding for the past few years in at least 2 major prisons inside the town of Douma, or at least reveal the fate of those civilians and hundreds of soldiers that they have captured over the course of the past 6 years. However, the deal that was struck between the rebels and the Syrian government with Russian mediation seems to have a transitional period, and in this period, some rebels would be allowed to stay in the town of Douma with their weapons as part of a policing force. Alaa Ebrahim, CGTN, Damascus.